when we're on location shooting a video. There's a lot that has to happen before we can actually start shooting. But what has to happen, and how do we spend our time on your video shoot? Well, stick around, because that's the question for this episode of Video Answers. Happy New Year, and welcome to this 51st episode of Video Answers. With this episode, I'm excited to roll out a brand new look and feel. I really think you're going to love this format. Now, imagine with me for a moment that we're on location shooting interviews for your video. While we would love to spend the entire day doing nothing but filming, generally it's just not possible. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of other things that have to happen before you hear me shout, action. Now let me show you an example from a recent out-of-town shoot for a healthcare client. This will give you an idea of how we spend our time on a typical shoot day. Now our day begins with a load up, and literally a load up is just where we load up the equipment onto the truck. That's when the clock starts ticking. Typically that'll take us about 20 minutes. Then from there we travel to the first location, and that could be 15 to 30 minutes depending on the location. And then once we get to the location, we have to unload all of that equipment off the truck, and we have to get it ready to move. Now once we have the truck unloaded, we want to move that equipment to our shoot location, and that's typically where we're rolling things into your facility. We're getting our badges with security, we're taking the elevators, we're going through the hallways, and we're finding that location where we're scheduled to shoot. Now once we get to that location, we're ready to set up. And setup can take anywhere from 45 minutes to a couple of hours. And really all we're doing for a setup is that we are getting the right furniture, plants, pictures. We're setting up the cameras, the lighting, and the sound so that everything looks great. Now, if you notice, up until this point, we've not done any shooting, but we've already spent as little as 2 hours to as much as 3.5 or 4 hours, and we still haven't shot. I think you're seeing the trend here. The reality is it just takes time to pull things together and make things work the way they should on location. Now, after we've set up, we jump into shooting interviews, and that can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour per person. Now, if we're doing a lot of interviews, we will turn around and we'll do a second setup in that same room. We also call that flipping the room, and that can take about 45 minutes. And it really just depends on what we need to accomplish. Now we're ready for our second round of interviews. And again, depending on how many people we're going to do, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour per person. After we're finished with those interviews, guess what? We pack all of that equipment back up. That takes about 30 minutes. We're going to move all of that equipment back to the truck, 15 to 30 minutes. Then we're going to load up the truck, about 20 minutes. And by that time, the crew's hungry. So we travel to lunch. And we'll have lunch, that'll be 45 minutes to an hour, and then we're ready to travel to our second location, at which point in time we will repeat all of that all over again. Now, while every project is different, that does give you a bit of an idea of what it takes. There's just a lot of physical preparation that has to happen before we can actually shoot. With that as a background, next time I want to give you some ideas on how we can help you maximize your time to capture more footage in a day. That will be on our next episode of Video Answers. Now, do you have questions about scheduling your shoot or general questions about video production? Send an email to answers@comprehensivemedia.com and ask away. To watch other episodes of Video Answers, head over to comprehensivemedia.com/video answers, where you can search for a variety of topics, from what it costs to make a video and how to save money, to learning how to prepare for your interview and finding out if you really need lights for your video shoot. And while you're there, if our weekly Video Answers episodes are not being delivered to your inbox, then comprehensivemedia.com/video answers is the place to subscribe. And when you subscribe, you'll get a free guide to help you unlock your video's potential. Again, you can find all of that and more at comprehensivemedia.com/video answers. Thanks again for watching Video Answers, the resource with video production help for your business.